Hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Okay. Did Kenichi review. Now it's time for the Fairy Tail review. Fairy Tail, chapter 318. This one was called Gajeel versus Rogue. Well, I'm not giving this a 4. I'm not giving this a 4. Now, before I get into the logistics of this chapter, what happened, I want to just back a bit. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to the Tower of Heaven arc and think about this clearly. Natsu, excuse me, Natsu ate, when he ate Etherion, parts of the Etherion, that tower, he regurgitated a few magic, but absorbed the fire magic that was residing in that rock, in those rocks. Then you go in further into Fairy Tail, and you should know that there was the part where he ate, the golden fire, but that was fire. And, of course, the whole fiasco during the Tenojima arc, the S-Class Wizard exam, when he took in Laxus's lightning. And then, after the time skip, he still had the lightning. Okay. Now, in this chapter, not Natsu, Gajeel, might as well say it, absorbs Rogue's shadows, fire shadows, into himself. And now is known as Iron Shadow Dragon Slayer. This would get a 4 or 4.5 if Hiro did one thing and one thing only. If he had stated during, it could have been said by any character. It didn't matter who. It could have been said by Jiao. Hell, it could have been said by Cobra. Or Hades. Any character. It doesn't matter. Of somebody that was fighting Natsu. And said, oh, you should know. Or it was stated by someone that's found out something. And said that first generation Dragon Slayers have the ability to absorb and integrate into their systems magic besides the one they're using. Meaning, Natsu, for example, his original magic is fire. And he's able to integrate lightning. But here's the thing. Hiro never said that. That's why this is getting a 3.5 out of 5. It's simple as that. Now let's get into the actual summary. It was split off in 2 parts. One was Natsu and the gang, and the other was the actual fight. Future Lucy's leading them through the basement tower. In the basement. She memorized it because she went there before. And she's just taking them through there. And somehow the soldiers are able to find them, even though they went a different path, which is like, fate and that whole thing. Now, There is something going on with future Lucy. That's another thing I want to bring up in this chapter. Besides the whole at the end. She's definitely hiding something. She's definitely hiding something. I don't know what it is. And I apologize for the noise. It's the plows. She's definitely hiding something. Because what happens is Yukino and Arcadius isn't there. And she's thinking. She got dots. So she knows something. So, what ends up happening then is they attack, and Mira Jane has some connection with Yukino. Which I went like, why? But then I understand why. Mira Jane's eyes, Yukino is like Lisana. So yeah, there's that connection with Lisana, that kind of little sister kind of thing. So Natsu and Loki, they just clear a path and they take care of the fodder. Charlotte's saying, I'm having another panic attack. What now? And then we move on from that, and we go to Gajeel and Rogue. Now, the logistics of what happened to Rogue is simple. He was possessed by his shadow power. At least that's what it seems to be with this situation. And, you know, and he's telling him, no, I like Gajeel. It's my power, and, you know, so on and so forth. He attacks Gajeel. And the other thing that, and I'm kind of splitting hairs here, because I took a look at King of Lightning's Fairy Tail chapter review before I decided to do my review. And he made up a good points here and there with the fact that, Levy crying over Gajeel, saying, oh, he basically wants somebody to go into Fairy Tail and just knock them all down. Just kill everybody. And I'm like, but anyway, you know, he's getting hit here and there. And he says, the person says, I am Shadow, the one who controls fate. And he was knocking Gajeel all over the place, Rogue as Shadow. And Gajeel tries to do Iron Dragon Sword, doesn't do anything. He does Shadow Dragon's Flash of the Wax Wing. I had no idea what that was about. And then we see another thing of why I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5. Not just because of the whole inconsistencies with absorbing. How hard is it to kill a cat? That's what I'd like to know. Not to mention a cat dressed up as a frog. That's even worse. Frog is saying, who are you? Ooh, eh. And then Gajeel, we see Gajeel again. He says, where are you? I'm right here. And he does, Rogue does Shadow Dragon Slash. And we see Mavis and Makarov saying, yeah, he must be possessed. It's a foul magic, but nevertheless, it's impressive. And she's never seen anything like it. And he starts saying, oh, you're inferior to Natsu, you're not even in my league. And we briefly see Gial and Evers saying that this magic, is no doubt about it, is similar to Zeref's. And they're saying that Natsu and the company is with future Lucy, so it would leave everything in their hands. And I go back to them, and I just basically find them, and just fodder anything. So let me go back to, and this is the part where I say, give me a fucking break. Levy crying, oh, kill him! And listen, like I said, the whole part with Gajeel absorbing the shadows, if it was mentioned by Hiro that the first Dragon Slayers, first generation Dragon Slayers, had the ability to absorb other magics and keep it with them, this would make sense. Or certain magics and keep them with them. It would make sense. Doesn't make sense with this situation. Okay, so, and Livy's saying, stop, you're killing him. And then we see Frosh, and I'm like, no, get that cat out of the way. And he says, Rogue says he's going to use shadows to consume you, embrace the darkness. And then that's when Gajeel says, if Salamander can pull it off, I can too. And Gajeel begins to eat the shadows. And says, don't know what your deal is, but get out of his body now. And he says, stop calling him that. It ain't his name. When he says Rogue, Shadow tells Rogue. His name is Rios, and used to be my disciple. He never admired me. I was never a man anyone looked up to. You feared me. This guy is... And then Rogue says, this guy is... Let me jog your memory. And it says, the Iron Shadow Dragon as to the fear I can bring. And on the side it says, is this the power of the Shadow or Gajeel's true form? His true might is about to explode. And in next week's chapter, it says 319, Holy Night. There's a problem. I already said in the beginning of this review where I said the whole thing with the first generation absorbing magic and using it as their own. Then there's a second problem with this chapter. This idea that all of a sudden now Gajeel remembers Rogue when he didn't know shit about him beforehand. Now he remembers him as being a disciple? Like, what? Those are the two main inconsistencies in this chapter. Yeah, what can I say? This is just how it is. Overall, it was boss, the way Gajeel looked. I mean, I thought that was boss. It was boss. He looked boss. That was pretty interesting. I thought it was fucking awesome, the way he looked with the shadows engulfing in himself. But nevertheless, it's inconsistent. I mean, like I said before, and take this, anyone watching this review, take this with you. If Hiro had mentioned during the chapters before this arc, hell, if he had mentioned during the middle of Fairy Tail and said, someone told Natsu, or someone told somebody this, first generation Dragon Slayers have the ability to absorb a second kind of magic and use it as their own, then I think everybody would say, okay, that makes sense. But since he didn't say that, since nobody said that, it's like inconsistent. But overall, it was an alright chapter. It was okay. But Lucy, feature Lucy, oh man, she's hiding something. She's hiding something. Shit's gonna go down. I'm not gonna say what King of Lightning said. It said, oh, she's Two-Faced. She's gonna... No, but least to say, it was an alright chapter. Next week's gonna be called Holy Night. I think that's gonna be towards Cardius. So that should be interesting. See what's going on with him. But that's all I got for you guys. This is Bonkai 922. Take it or leave it. Take what I have to say. Process it. It makes sense. I'll see you guys later. Even though it was inconsistent. Shadow Iron Dragon.